Hi, everybody. Welcome to Moving Forward with Audrey Now. I am Audrey, and this is Now. So, this is a healing podcast, and there are certain things we do not discuss, but I will recommend where you can go in a loving, caring way. And we will begin. We do breathing attunements, we do affirmations, we do wisdom sharings, and we do depictions of beauty because with beauty we can grow, we can open our heart center, we can realign the wiring in our brains. This stuff is extremely important. Okay, as is music, by the way. Make sure, okay, I'll get into that with the, oh, I didn't do my nails. Okay, so you will see my nails not done. So, breathing attunement, you can put your hand on your heart. I'm not going to move this screen much because then it can lose the video. But if you'd like to focus on your heart, you can put one or both hands on your heart, and that will automatically kind of bring your attention to it. We're going to do a relatively simple breathing attunement. I was thinking of doing alternate nostril breathing, which I really like. It's a yogic breathing, nadi sudi. But no, we're going to inhale around the count of 4, hold for the count of 5, and exhale for the count of 6, maybe 7. I can do it fairly slowly because I have been doing breathing attunements for many years. You might not be able, I'm not going to hold it for long, but if you can't do it, make the exhalation, if at all possible, longer than the inhalation. Inhalation is shorter, holding it is a little longer, exhalation is longest yet. Okay, so sit comfortably. If you need to go to the bathroom or attend to any of that kind of biological necessity, do it now. Take off your shoes. Obviously, if you're driving, pay attention to that. If you're watching a child, if you're using a knife, if you're cutting up pears, whatever, focus on that. But when you can really pay attention to this, do so. Meanwhile, you can listen, but pay attention also to what you're doing. Life on earth is also important, as is spirituality. It isn't about running away from life on earth, it's about bringing the energy of source, the energy of light, whatever you want to call it, Buddha energy, Christ consciousness, divine feminine, all of it. I'm calling it today light consciousness. And I explained before, I don't like to say Christ consciousness because some people take that as religion. It is not religion. That's a consciousness anyone can have if they do the internal work to have it, because we are born with it. We are made of source stuff. Okay, yeah. We are made of that. We are made of light. And if you ask, well, why doesn't everyone act like it? Because they're coming from ego. They're coming from parts of toxic ego. So today we're going to talk about choice because it is time to choose what type of woman you prefer to be and what it takes to be that. Okay, for some it's almost automatic, not for most. Yeshua, the correct name for Jesus, insofar as I know from studying, he studied. He studied. He studied where he was born. He studied in India. He studied in Egypt. He studied with masters. He studied. And he was advanced from the get-go. So no matter who or what you may be, you also have this within you. Is it automatic? Probably not, depending on your background and what your conditioning may have been. Can you achieve it? Yes, you can. We all can. That's why choose and choice. Okay, so now take in a nice deep breath and release. This is simply prep. Breathe in white light into the linings of all of your cells. Just allow it to happen and gently exhale. Again, breathe in shining white, protective, blessed light, cleaning you out to the linings of your cells and release. Now breathe in golden light, giving you energy and power into the nucleus of all of your cells, and gently let go and release. Breathe in golden light into the nucleus of all of your cells. Breathe it in and gently, softly release. Let go. Inhale, 2, 3, hold, 3, 5. Exhale, 2, 5, 6. Inhale, hold, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale, inhale, hold, exhale. Sit in the silence. Feel and experience the silence. How does that feel to you? That's my phone chirping away. So, how do you feel now compared with how you felt before we did any of these breathing attunements? You can write this down. Keep track of this stuff. Well, it's up to you. You will discover if you do any of the breathing attunements I teach daily. I do daily breathing, not just regular breathing, daily attunements of one kind or another every single day. You will grow, you will change, you will evolve. You will get more centered. You'll discover what that even means. There was a time I wasn't even sure because it was not who I was. I still am, a very person. I can feel very this or very that. Very strongly, very this. I'm not a blah person. I never was. So, a very person. So I had to make choices. So do you. We all are given the opportunity to make choices. That's why it's also important to be living in an environment where you are able to make choices. And if something like that isn't happening, then ask yourself, why are you there? And what is affecting you? But we will get to that. Now, our affirmation. I choose to live a full, vibrant life, and I take actions to create that. I choose to live a full, vibrant life, and I take actions to create that. Feel it, sense it, bring it into your cells, bring it into every part of who you are. Breathe it into your skin, breathe it into your teeth, breathe it into your eyes, breathe it into your intestines, breathe it into your butt, breathe it into your knees, breathe it into your heart. I live a full, vibrant life, and I take action, I take steps to create that. So what does that mean? Do you do breathing attunements? Do you do any kind of exercise at all? If you can only move your hand, move your hand. If you can walk, walk. Find something that you can do that will help you move. Move your head. It's important to do this so we don't get all stiffened up. I mean, there are people who do this stuff hours a day. I do not. When I was in the States, I was at the gym 3 times a week, more or less, because we have a thing called silver sneakers. In Costa Rica, they do not. And for me, the money that I would have to spend to do that, I am using for something else because I have to make, not I have to, there are choices to make. We always have choices. So today we're going to talk about the choice of what kind of being you are and choose to be, because we are at a choice point on the earth for what kind of species we are developing into individually and collectively. Oh, beauty. So, as I said, beauty is very important. I am setting up the Goddess Heart Gallery here in Costa Rica. It's smaller than the one I had in New York and the one that I had in Florida, but it's mine. And it'll be set up very soon, as soon as the gentleman arrives to hang up my various pieces of art. Yee! So, and if you're interested in any of it, let me know. Some of it you can see on my website. And yes, my really big paintings, 5 feet by 4 feet, those are in Florida. And they are available. All right, so this is one of my favorite. This is one of my frequency stones. Look at how cute. Yes, I'm saying that. I'm amazed at how they come out. And before I paint, I lift my frequency. The stuff I'm teaching you all, I do it. I am so not exempt. This is my initials. I call them frequency zones because they can help change your frequency. They live with me, and I do energy sending and healing every single day. These have crystals on them, and crystals can pick up energy, vibrate energy, shift energy, move energy. Used properly, they're amazing. Used inappropriately, as ostensibly was done umpteen years back in Atlantis, they can be used destructively. But this is a rock. If you're interested in any of these, or you want to see some of what I have, go to AudreyNow, AudryeNow.com, and let me know. Okay, so let us talk about choice. I mentioned that our species, humans, which to me still is sexist, humans. Notice in words, by the way, how often it says man and not woman or person, or women spelled WOMEN is women, the normal spelling, but WOMYN. This I know when the women's movement was pretty active in the States, a lot of us ladies were spelling women in a different way so it didn't say men, because we are not men. We are women. And anyone who thinks women are less than men, no. That is part of toxic masculinity and toxic femininity. I came up in a culture where women were taught, you were certainly not first. No, not even close. It was the man at the time that was the leader. Do I believe that? No. Do I think men should rule the world? No. Look at the mess. Look at the mess. Clearly, no. Do I think toxic women should? No, they're no better. They are not. In some ways, they're just as bad, if not worse, because we carry life if we choose to get pregnant. So we know what it's like to, if we've ever been pregnant, especially by choice, not by, whoops, I'm pregnant. How did that happen? Which, by the way, if you don't want to be pregnant, ladies, use contraceptives. Don't play with this. This isn't a game. Having a child is a sacred trust. Taking care of a child is a sacred trust. And ladies, make only the amount of children you can take care of. Because one does not know as years go by if you're with someone whether that will last, whether they will stay alive, whether they will be with you, whether you will be with them. And you don't have to know everything, and you don't have to have everything taken care of. And yes, there's a definite amount of trust in the world and in yourself and in moving so that you can deal with what's there. But don't make babies indiscriminately and then go, ah, you did it. So you have to be responsible. I'm saying that lovingly. I've seen too many issues with people that are not. I don't have to discuss this, and that's all over the planet, everywhere. I know of people that have used abortion as a method of birth control. Don't do that. Use birth control as birth control. So, okay, so this is the time of the rising of the divine feminine. What does that mean? Does it automatically mean women? Partially, yes, it does. Because we women are made differently than men, not just physically. And we have different hormones. Our brains are made differently than men. We have different hormones than men. We have a monthly cycle that reminds us of our fertility. We have ways to take care of having a child or not having a child. So we have dominion over that. And if you have not learned about your monthly menstrual cycle, please do so. It is simply good health. It is important to know how your body functions. So, in terms of the choice of what kind of human, so some of the divine feminine attributes are compassion, gentleness, strength, wisdom, nurturing, creativity, initiative, the ability to get up and do something, having an idea and carrying it through, support, nurturing. Now, men can have these qualities also. It isn't only women who have these qualities. So it isn't only females, although it's generally females. So it's the time of the rising of the divine feminine, and yes, especially now giving more credence to what I call black, brown, beige women. I am clearly not that. I'm a white woman. See? Okay. The unpolished nails, too. I say black, brown, beige because certainly in the United States, a lot of people identify as black and they're mixed. I take one look and it's obvious. Even former President Barack Obama, who was clearly biracial, his father was African, a beautiful, dark black man. His mother was a white woman who raised him till she passed, then his grandparents. So he was raised by white people by and large, as I understand. He chose to identify black, but his actual lineage is biracial. So it's time to acknowledge all of what we are and use the best of all of it. And I know a lot of women who identify black, okay? When I lived in Florida, more of my friends were black, brown, beige than white. I love these ladies. And now I'm in Costa Rica. I'm in the Caribbean African coast. And we have a slew of ticos and ticas here, and they're this gorgeous. They're the same complexion almost as my daughter. This kind of beige to brown complexion that they got in various ways, and then it's passed down and down and down, either from the mixing of the black and white races or indigenous, which is usually darker. And now there's campaign in the United States of who are the real Americans, and they are the indigenous people. They are, and they are rarely white people. They have darker complexions and usually straighter hair. This is clearly not that. Um, so, what kind of person are you? Who are you choosing to be? I gave you some of the qualities of the divine feminine. Here are some qualities of the divine masculine: protective, enterprising, productive, protective. Did I say protective? Supportive. They take care of those people that they live with, and they give each one a space to also take care of themselves. Educated, aware, aware, not DNS, dumb and stupid. And this has nothing to do with how much school education you may have, although that helps usually, sometimes not so much, frankly. If you allow yourself to know what's happening in front of you, knowing your internal self, going beyond the logical mind, which is simply a tool. That's what the logical mind is, a tool. It is not how to live life. Your intuition is a stronger, deeper way to live. And to do that, it's important to get in touch with your intuition and follow what it says. Start small. If you wake up and your intuition is, today we will take a walk, and during the walk we'll go to the river, whatever water you may have near you if you have water, and we'll meditate. We'll be quiet. And then fill in the blank, okay? Do that. Do that. Don't say, oh, I'm so busy, I can't do it. If that's your intuition, there is a reason for it that you may not know. Because your logical thinking brain is only going to see, and that's it. It's going to miss the deeper stuff. And we are way more than that. We are multi-dimensional, multi-spatial, multi-time thing. We as a species do not even know all of what we are. And some people are still way asleep. Some of us are much more awake and fully. I don't think any of us are fully awake. I've been on this earth for over 80 years and a pretty conscious person. I woke up early. I'm made that way. I remember, I forgot what it was that was going on, and I was a kid. and I looked around and I saw people doing something that I thought was so dumb. And yes, that's judgment. So I'm still releasing judgment. But I thought they're still doing that. I felt that our species would be beyond whatever that behavior was. I thought, have I come from the future? I can't answer that. I was born when I was born from my mother, a normal woman, and my father, a normal man. And what I'm speaking was not the conversation at all in our household. I actually was born a few years before the very great Edgar Cayce passed away. I am so sorry I didn't get to meet him. That would have been unbelievable, but I was 3 when he passed. My father had a nighting acquaintance with some of this kind of work, and now and then he and I would start to talk about this, so I found him fascinating in that area, and he knew a little. And my mother did not participate with those kinds of conversations. She was more practical. And frankly, I think she was jealous because she didn't do that. I did. She was Scorpio. He was Aquarius. I am Cancerian. And part of what it is to be the divine whatever is to really develop those qualities inside. They are there. Mainly, what it means is releasing the junk that's hiding it, because we all have that. We are all made of light. That's why I say light consciousness. It's not a religion, it's a reality, and it's time, in my opinion, to embrace that. Look at what's going on the planet. It is time to embrace that, and many, 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 many are. And in the years to come, we have a few really challenging years, 25, 26, 27, then more openness. It isn't the time to hide, although you can go where it's beautiful. I mean, I'm in Costa Rica. I left the United States because, one, it became too expensive for me. It just was. I was turning 80 and I needed more peace. And two, okay, so I'm not allowed to discuss politics. Let's just say I was did not like what was going on with that. That's all I'll say there. And I said no. So know that you are made of light. Use that as an affirmation. I am made of light, and I take steps to realize it. So for our appreciations and our gratitude, thank you. Thank you for watching. Please share this. Share, 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 play, 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 win, win, win. The more of us who live this, the more this becomes our reality, not that other yuck, yuck, yuck. And yes, there are practices, there are people that will teach this. There are very famous people who have workshops all over the place. There's free stuff, there's stuff you pay for. I have seminars, I have books, I have art. I have way more than this that will help shift your frequency. So, darling, wake up. Wake up. Lots of blessings to you. Please like or love this podcast. Share, 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 share it everywhere. Subscribe. And thank you very much. Bye.